Today we're going to look at finding a parallel line. Now, we've got two things that we have to learn here. The first is to find a parallel line, a line parallel to one given to us through a point, and understanding the gradients behind that is our second part. So, for two lines to be parallel, on a graph, that means that they've got the same gradient. So if we call this line line 1 and this line 2, this gradient is M1 and this gradient is M2. To be parallel, M1 has to equal M2. So if we know what the gradient is in a particular line, we can find it easily because we just have to find that m in front of x. So there's two different ways of doing this. One is if we have a line very easily already in the y equals mx plus c form, we can find m really easily. Here it is here. M equals 1/4. So now to find a line parallel, we already have the gradient because so we want to find a line parallel through 2, 4. So we've got the gradient, we've got our 1 point, we only need one, remember x1, y1, and our formula, which is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Right, so we can put the y1 in. Y minus 4 equals the gradient, 1/4 x minus 2. So y equals 1/4 x, 1/4 of 2 is 1/2. Minus 1/2, minus 4 onto the other side, plus 4. So we've got 1/4 y equals x minus 1/2 plus 4 is plus 3.5. All right, so that line is parallel to that one through the point 2, 4. Guys, can I just emphasize at this point, to have an equation of a line, you must start it with a y equals. It has to have x and y in it with an equals sign. There is another way of writing it. We're going to have a look at that now. So if we've got a line written in this form, 4x plus 8y equals 3, we have to find the gradient first. So we need to rewrite it in this form here. So we're going to move the x over to the other side and get 8y equals negative 4x plus 3. Now we're going to divide by 8, all right? So y equals negative 4 over 8x plus 3 over 8. So we need to be pretty good at our fractions here. Negative 4 over 8, our calculator will simplify this for us, but we should be able to figure out that that's 1/2. So here's our equation. There's our gradient, and if we need a line parallel through, I'll make it easy this time, 1, 1, then when we use our formula, y, so what 1, 1 is our x1 and y1, and our gradient is equal to negative 1/2. So we put it in our equation. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. You'll get really good at saying that, okay? So y1 is 1, x1 is 1, and m is 1/2. Y equals, y minus 1 equals negative 1/2 x minus 1. Y equals negative 1/2 x, two negatives make positive, plus 1/2 and plus 1. So our equation for our parallel line is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1.5. Right, so we have to identify the gradient and find a point that's given to us. So we might have a point on a line, or we might have it parallel to the x-axis. What does parallel to the x-axis mean? So if we've got an axis, right, parallel to the x-axis means the gradient is 0. Okay? Awesome.